Some secrets are heavy enough to break a heart. Amy has been carrying one for too long, one that could change everything between her and Ty. Today, she can't hide it anymore, and the truth is about to come pouring out. The morning sun spills golden light over the Heartland Ranch, but Amy feels like she's walking in shadows. Every step across the familiar dirt paths feels heavier than the last. She clutches a small leather-bound notebook close to her chest, a collection of thoughts she's never shared. Thoughts she thought she could keep locked away. But now, the pages burn in her hands, and the words seem louder than ever. She pauses at the edge of the barn, glancing at the rows of stalls where horses nicker softly in the quiet dawn. Each sound seems to echo her own nervous heartbeat. She can see Ty in the distance, tending to the horses, his silhouette calm and steady, completely unaware of the storm inside her. Amy wonders for a moment if he'd even understand, or if saying this aloud would push him away forever. Her fingers trace the worn cover of the notebook, and a memory flashes Ty's laugh from last summer. The time he helped her when she fell off a horse, the way his eyes softened whenever she talked about her dreams. Memories she has cherished are now tangled with the secret she has been holding back. Every glance she casts toward him tightens the knot in her chest, making it impossible to ignore the truth any longer. Amy finally steps inside the barn, the wooden doors creaking softly behind her. Dust motes float in the sunlight, drifting like fragile reminders that life goes on whether she confesses or stays silent. She moves toward the corner, picking up a brush, fidgeting with it as if it could somehow carry her courage. But nothing can. Her chest tightens, breaths coming shallow and quick, as the weight of what she needs to say presses down. She knows this isn't just another conversation, it's a turning point. A moment that could either deepen their bond or change everything forever. Ty looks up as he hears the faint shuffle of her footsteps. There's a spark of concern in his eyes, but he doesn't rush over. He waits, giving her the space to come forward, to find her words. Amy swallows hard, her tongue feeling heavy, and for a long moment, she just watches him, memorizing the curve of his shoulders, the soft tilt of his head, the way the morning light catches his hair. The sight calms her, but it also makes her fear the heartbreak she might bring. Her voice finally breaks the silence, soft and trembling. Ty, there's something I need to tell you. I've kept it inside for too long, and I can't anymore. She pauses, her eyes darting away to the floorboards, gathering strength. Every second feels like an eternity, but Amy knows there's no turning back. Whatever comes next, this moment will change everything between them. The barn falls silent, except for the soft shuffle of hay beneath Amy's boots. She steps closer to where Ty leans against the railing, brushing his hands over a horse's mane, trying to focus on the morning chores, unaware of the storm about to hit him. Amy's heart pounds in her chest like a drum, each beat louder than the last. She knows that once she speaks, there will be no turning back. She grips the notebook tighter, feeling the worn leather press into her palms, as if it's urging her forward. The words she has scribbled here for months, words of doubt, fear, and longing, now demand to be heard. Her eyes flick up at Ty, searching for any hint of the calm he usually carries. Instead, she sees curiosity mixed with gentle concern, and that gives her both courage and terror. Ty, I've been hiding something. She begins, voice barely above a whisper. It trembles as it escapes her lips, carrying the weight of months spent in silence. I thought I could manage it on my own, but I can't anymore. I need you to know the truth. Her hands shake, and she presses the notebook to her chest, as if it could somehow shield her from the vulnerability of the moment. Ty steps closer, cautious, sensing the gravity of her tone. He doesn't interrupt, doesn't rush her, but his eyes soften, filled with the patience and trust he's always shown. Amy swallows hard, the lump in her throat threatening to choke her, and takes a shaky breath. I've been scared, Ty. Scared of losing you. Scared of what might happen if I tell you how I really feel. But keeping it inside, it's tearing me apart. The words spill out now, faster, rawer, as if the floodgates of her heart have finally opened. I've loved you, Ty, more than I should have, more than I even understood myself. And I know I should have said it before, but I was scared. Scared it would change everything between us. But I can't hide it anymore. Amy's voice breaks at the last sentence, and for the first time, the strong walls she's built crumble entirely. Ty stands frozen for a heartbeat, processing the weight of her confession. The air between them feels electric, charged with emotion, heavy with unspoken feelings. He reaches out slowly, letting his hand hover just above hers without touching yet, giving her the space to breathe, to see the truth in his eyes. There's no rush, no dramatic words, just a quiet, deep understanding that what she's just revealed matters more than anything else. Amy steps back slightly, watching him, unsure of his reaction. The barn seems to hold its breath, the horses, quiet as if sensing the intensity of the moment. She fears judgment, rejection, the heartbreak she's always imagined, but beneath the fear, a small spark of hope flickers. Maybe, just maybe, Ty will understand. Maybe, just maybe, this confession will bring them closer instead of pulling them apart. For a long moment, the barn feels suspended in time. Amy's words hang in the air like fragile glass, and she can almost hear her own heartbeat echoing between the beams. Ty doesn't speak at first. Instead, he tilts his head slightly, letting the silence stretch, letting the weight of her confession settle. It's a quiet kind of acknowledgement, one that says he hears her, that he feels her fear, and that he hasn't turned away. Then, slowly, he takes a step closer. Not too close, just enough to bridge the space between them without overwhelming her. His hands remain relaxed at his sides, but his eyes lock onto hers, steady and unwavering. Amy notices a flicker of something she hasn't seen before, a mixture of awe, compassion, and the unspoken understanding that comes from years of shared memories, trust, and love that doesn't need to be shouted to be felt. Ty finally speaks, his voice low, calm, and deliberate. Amy, I don't want you to carry that alone anymore. There's no judgment, no anger, only honesty and the quiet power of someone who truly cares. I've always been here. I'm still here. And what you feel, it doesn't push me away. It doesn't change what I think about you. It only matters that you told me. Each word is like a steady hand, easing the storm inside her, grounding her in the moment. Amy exhales shakily, her shoulders sagging as relief washes over her. The tension that's been building for months finally cracks, and tears blur her vision. She watches as Ty shifts, careful and deliberate, reaching out this time, letting his hand brush against hers, not demanding, just offering. It's a gesture of trust, a lifeline thrown across the chasm of fear that had separated them. And in that simple touch, everything unsaid finds a voice, reassurance, care, and the promise of something new. They stand together in the warm morning light streaming through the barn windows, shadows dancing across their figures. Amy's heart still races, but it's no longer burdened with dread, it's buoyed by hope. She realizes that confession doesn't have to mean heartbreak. Sometimes it means connection, vulnerability, and the beginning of a deeper understanding. Ty's quiet presence, his patient listening, and the gentle strength in his gaze make her feel seen in a way she's never known before. As the wind drifts softly through the open barn doors, carrying the scent of hay and the fields beyond, Amy whispers, almost to herself, I was so scared, but you make me feel safe. Ty doesn't answer with words, he doesn't need to. The way he stands beside her, calm and unwavering, says everything. It's a silent promise that whatever comes next, they'll face it together. And for the first time in months, Amy believes it. The heartbreak she feared has transformed, replaced by the quiet, unspoken magic of understanding, trust, and love that doesn't need to be shouted, it simply exists. The barn falls quiet again, but this time, the silence is gentle, almost comforting. The tension that once filled the air has been replaced by something fragile yet strong, hope. Amy steps back slowly, giving Ty space, but she notices how his gaze never leaves her, steady and unwavering. It's a quiet kind of reassurance, a promise that their bond hasn't been broken, it's only been strengthened by the courage it took to speak the truth. Outside, the sun has climbed higher, casting golden streaks across the fields. A soft breeze drifts through the open barn doors, ruffling Amy's hair and carrying the faint smell of wildflowers and freshly cut hay. It's the kind of morning that feels alive with possibility, as if nature itself is acknowledging a new beginning. Amy lifts her eyes and sees Ty watching her, his silhouette framed by sunlight. And for the first time, she doesn't feel the weight of fear pressing on her chest. She feels light, free, and seen. Amy reaches slowly into her pocket and pulls out a small trinket, a childhood keepsake she had once almost forgotten. She holds it in her hand and smiles faintly, a quiet, almost shy acknowledgement that life moves forward and love can grow in ways you never expect. Ty notices and leans a little closer, curiosity and warmth in his posture. He doesn't ask questions. As she turns to walk toward the barn doors, Amy glances back one last time. The look in Ty's eyes is no longer just concern or curiosity, it's understanding, patience, and a quiet joy that comes from seeing someone finally release the weight they've carried for too long. She realizes that confession doesn't always mean pain. Sometimes it opens the door to trust, to connection, and to the subtle magic of love that doesn't need fanfare to be powerful. The camera would linger on Amy's figure as she steps into the sunlight, golden fields stretching endlessly ahead. Ty follows slowly, a calm presence behind her, neither rushing nor hesitating. Together, they walk toward the horizon, the barn fading behind them, a symbol of the past they've faced and the future they now step into. Their journey isn't perfect. There will still be challenges, moments of doubt, and fears to confront, but in this quiet, fragile moment, they have something stronger than fear. They have truth, trust, and the beginning of a love that has survived the weight of unspoken words. As the screen fades to gold, a soft voiceover closes the story. Sometimes the hardest words to say can change everything. For Amy and Ty, today isn't the end, it's the beginning of everything they were always meant to face together. The music swells gently, fading into silence, leaving viewers with a lingering sense of hope, emotion, and the quiet magic of Heartland's enduring heart. The barn doors sway gently in the late afternoon breeze, the golden sunlight now softer, almost like a quiet exhale after the storm of emotions inside. Amy sits on the old wooden fence at the edge of the field, legs dangling, the leather notebook resting in her lap. She flips it open but doesn't read the words she wrote anymore. Instead, she traces the lines with her fingers, smiling faintly at the journey they represent. The confession that once felt impossible now feels like a release, a bridge to something new and fragile but hopeful. Ty stands a few feet away, leaning against a fence post, watching the horses graze in the distance. His posture is relaxed, but his eyes betray the thoughtfulness churning beneath. He's processing, reflecting, and yet there's a softness to him now, a quiet acknowledgement that life and love are messy, but moments like these make it all worthwhile. He doesn't approach immediately. He waits, giving Amy space to settle into herself, showing that understanding and patience can speak louder than words ever could. Amy picks up a stray blade of grass, twirling it between her fingers absent-mindedly, and lets herself reflect on the path that brought her here. The mistakes, the fear, the unspoken words, all of it led to this fragile, honest moment. She realizes that bravery isn't about shouting your feelings from rooftops. Sometimes it's about whispering them into the ears of the ones who matter most and trusting they'll hear the heart behind the words. The ranch feels almost alive in response, with birds flitting between the trees and the distant lowing of cows carrying across the fields. It's a subtle symphony of normalcy, grounding the intensity of the day in the calm rhythm of life. Amy looks toward Ty again, catching his gaze. He nods slightly, not as a reaction to her confession, but as a silent promise. No matter what comes next, they'll navigate it together. In that nod, she finds reassurance stronger than any words could provide. As shadows stretch across the golden fields, Amy closes her notebook and stands, brushing off her jeans. She takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of fear lifted and replaced by the quiet certainty that honesty and trust have transformed her world. Ty walks over beside her, and for a moment, they walk in silence, side by side, the ranch around them alive yet calm. There's no need to fill the silence with words. It's comfortable, grounding, and full of unspoken understanding. The voiceover softly concludes, lingering like the warm sunset. Some confessions change everything, and some hearts need only a moment of truth to find their way. For Amy and Ty, this is more than a beginning, it's a quiet promise that love, when honest and brave, can weather any storm. The screen slowly fades to golden light over the fields, leaving viewers with a sense of reflection, hope, and the timeless magic of Heartland's heart. The sun dips lower, casting long, amber shadows across the Heartland fields. Amy stands at the edge of the pasture, her hair catching the last strands of sunlight, the breeze whispering through the tall grass. She exhales slowly, feeling the weight of months of fear and uncertainty finally lift. It's not a perfect ending, but it's real, honest, and full of quiet strength. The storm inside her has passed, replaced with a fragile peace. Ty appears beside her, his presence calm yet unwavering. They walk together slowly, side by side, feet crunching on the gravel path, the sound grounding them in this shared moment. Amy doesn't speak immediately. She doesn't need to. The silence between them is not emptiness, it's connection. Every glance, every subtle gesture tells her that they've crossed a threshold. What was once tension and fear has transformed into trust and understanding. She glances down at the notebook in her hand one last time. The pages are filled with fears, confessions, and unspoken words, but now they feel lighter, like a map of her heart that has finally been understood. She realizes that telling the truth isn't just about confession. It's about courage, and it's about creating space for love to grow without walls or pretenses. In this moment, Amy feels free not because the future is certain, but because she has taken ownership of her own heart. Ty slows his pace and reaches out, not with dramatic gestures, but with quiet reassurance, letting his hand brush hers. The simplicity of the touch, the steady warmth behind it, speaks volumes. They don't need promises right now. They don't need grand declarations. They have something deeper in unspoken understanding, the knowledge that honesty has brought them closer than ever before. And that, Amy realizes, is enough for today. As the screen pans across the glowing fields, a voiceover softly concludes, leaving viewers with hope and anticipation. Some truths can break your heart, and some can set it free. Amy and Ty have faced their fears, spoken their hearts, and discovered that love isn't about perfection, it's about honesty, courage, and the quiet moments that bind two souls together. And for them, this is only the beginning. The camera lingers on the horizon, fading to golden light, leaving the audience with a lingering sense of calm, hope, and a spark of curiosity. What comes next for Amy and Ty, and how will their journey continue across the Heartland? The sky over Heartland glows in shades of pink and gold, the kind of sunset that feels like it's holding its breath. Amy stands near the fence, notebook closed in her hand, feeling the warmth of the day fade around her. The ranch is quiet now, alive with small sounds, the soft whinny of a horse, the rustle of leaves in the evening breeze, but all of it fades into the background as she reflects on what has just happened. She feels lighter, braver, like she stepped out of a shadow she didn't even realize she'd been living in. Ty joins her quietly, walking alongside, their steps in sync. There's no need for words. The space between them is comfortable, filled with the weight of shared understanding. Amy realizes that sometimes the most powerful connections don't come from grand gestures, they come from honesty, from vulnerability, and from trusting someone enough to let them see the parts of your heart you've kept hidden. She glances at Ty, and in his calm, steady presence, she finds reassurance stronger than any promise. The wind brushes across the fields, carrying the scent of hay and earth, and Amy closes her eyes for a moment, breathing it in. This is home. This is safety. And more than that, this is the beginning of a new chapter, not just for her heart, but for the bond she shares with Ty. She smiles faintly, a quiet, private acknowledgement that the hardest truths can sometimes lead to the most beautiful beginnings. The light fades toward twilight. The camera pans across the ranch, lingering on familiar landmarks: the barn, the fence, the open fields, symbols of the life they've built and the memories yet to come. Ty's hand finds hers, just for a moment. And it's enough. It's a silent promise that the road ahead may have its challenges, but they will face them together, grounded in honesty and trust. The voiceover gently closes the story. Some confessions can shake your world, but others can set it free. Amy and Ty have faced their fears, spoken their hearts, and discovered that love isn't about perfection, it's about courage, honesty, and the quiet moments that bind two souls together. This is not the end, it's a beginning, and Heartland's heart keeps beating, carrying their story forward. The screen fades to golden light over the fields, leaving viewers with a sense of calm, hope, and lingering emotion, a perfect ending that honors the story while leaving room for imagination and fan speculation.